Okay, day one, thought number three. It was not good for the man to be alone. Okay, so if we look back, we see here, you know, it was, the light was good, it 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 was good, right? Everything in creation, I mean, we're constantly seeing, it's good, it's good, it's good. And then suddenly, before the fall, this is the only thing that is ever mentioned as being not good, and it is for the man to be alone. So why is that? I think part of it goes back to the fact that, like we talked about masculinity and femininity, right? We all reflect God's image in different ways, and obviously, Adam by himself could not represent God's image nearly as well as he could with Eve, who could represent the more feminine aspects, love, caring, etc., etc. So we talked about that. That's one reason. But another reason is just plain old fellowship, right? Of knowing another person and being fully known by a person. And here we have a great example of this in the physical sense. Now the man and his wife were both naked, but they felt no shame. And I think in this case, this is both physical and metaphorical, right? They're naked before one another, completely transparent, and they felt no shame. And I think that is something that is absolutely, there's no thinking about it. That is absolutely something that is necessary to healthy human thriving, is to be known by other people, and at least by somebody, to be fully known. And then also to genuinely know other people. And in our modern society, it's so easy to have these really, really shallow relationships where maybe you know a lot of people, but you don't know them very well. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for deep, meaningful, relationships that actually require work. And it is work. You're gonna have to put forward the time to find people that you can trust. First off, it has to be a person, not just anybody. And two, both people are going to have to be willing to put the effort into maintaining that relationship. That's spending time together, having fun together. Like those are important, but also sharing with one another and spending time with the other one another, getting to know each other. So obviously, if you're married, your spouse ought to be one of these people. And so Laura is that for me, but also you absolutely need other people other than your spouse. So if you're a guy, other guys that you can count on, other girls you can count on, who know you and know everything about you. And so there are several people in my life, and it also helps if you can have some people that are maybe a few years ahead of you in your Christian walk, maybe other people who are peers. That's great too. So what does this look like for me? How do I do it? Right? I read it. This is what it means. But what is it? How do I obey this? Now this is something I already do every day. I absolutely have to, because if I don't, I turn into a mess. And I'll give you an example. The other day I talked about, when I messed up with Moses, and I was, I really crossed the line when I was, disciplining him, and I was just, I went from being stern to being scary, right? Like that. There's a couple of things. If I keep that to myself, right? No one was there other than me and Moses. If I keep that to myself, I can either gloss over it, and then I can get into the habit of I'm just being really, really overbearing with him, and or I can go the other direction of, instead of glossing over it, of just feeling really, really bad about it. Like, man, I'm a terrible dad. Oh, how did I do that? And then maybe I'm too lenient with him in the future, or maybe I just really down on myself and I, start, having bad interactions with people in some other ways. Whatever. Like, you don't want to make it too big of a deal, and you don't want to gloss over it. What you need to do is you need to confess it and bring it to the light, which sucks and it's embarrassing and it's scary. But you also need to feel the grace of not being judged. And that process, and those guys in my life, I brought that to them, and I said, hey, listen, man, I really messed up with Moses. I was just really kind of awful to him, and I brought that to Laura. Right? So there's some accountability. That way, if I'm coming to him every day, like, man, I messed up with Moses again. They're like, hey, what's going on here, buddy? Right? So a little bit of a sounding board in my life. So that is how I do this. You absolutely need it. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse. So Go, if you don't have a friend, go find a friend. If you've got friends, you know, lean into that and be a good friend to them. Listen to them and be this person for them as well. I love you guys. Read it. Do it.